left field. It's deep. It's going.
Yes!
And it is gone.
Yes!
He steps up his head and falls forward. And he fumbles the football and the Eagles have it.
Saquon Barkley's the guy. He's going to take it. Touchdown from 65.
All right, what's going on, guys? I haven't talked in a while, but we're back. And if it sounds like we're on Zoom, it's because we are on Zoom. So
There's some very unfavorable weather up here in the
there
Great
is,
Northeast.
yes. Nothing we can do about it, but hey, we're still here though. So what's going
The
on,
show
guys?
must go on, man.
Yeah, exactly. What's going on, guys? I'm Andrew, obviously joined by Tyler, like always.
What's going on, everyone?
Man, it's been a pretty disappointing week. We'll talk about it all, but yeah, the Eagles season, it's over. And it's over than a lot of people thought it would be, and I mean, I don't really know what to say other than it's over. I thought they were going to lose. Somehow they put up fight against the Novacare 49ers, but all we can say is they won't be playing meaningful football again until September.
Yeah, and it's a little, I guess you can't really be too surprised, even though I was the one last week going into the game saying that I thought the Eagles offense
you were going
was
in very optimistic, saying like,
going
"Ooh,
to,
we can-"
I was sitting there saying that Eagles offense is going to score. They're going to figure out a way to put some points up against this banged up 49ers defense. And once, of course, another bad weather game,
yeah,
not making
30-mile-an-hour plus winds, and
not making an excuse
Mhm.
because they lost, and that's not an excuse for losing. But
the
just another instance of Jalen Hurts showing that he does not play very well in bad weather.
Yep. The offensive issues too. They came back to bite them in the ass, like what we had seen all season. The first half was semi good. They were able to hold on to the lead. Defense was playing well, and then once the second half came, they only scored 6 points. I mean, Hurts only had 75 yards in the second half. Barkley had only 35 yards. I mean, you just cannot win when you get 2 interceptions from Quinyon Mitchell. You're in good field position, and you can only manage just a measly field goal off of that.
Yeah, I mean, I was waiting all game to see something different from the offense that we had seen all season. I was kind of one of those believers that was hoping that, once the playoffs start, they'll really expand the playbook and we'll get to see something that's a little bit more complex than what they've been showing all year. Maybe they've just been hiding it up until, the postseason. Maybe we'll see more Jalen Hurts designed runs. Maybe we'll see more run pass option. Maybe we'll see more of the things that make Jalen successful.
We didn't see
And
any of that.
there was none of it.
None of that. There was one good run from Hurts, which was called back because of a penalty. But besides that, there wasn't really like any runs where Hurts was taking off and getting a lot of yards. It was
He had what, 3 recorded runs on the game?
it was mainly
That
just
was
him sitting in the pocket.
Yeah, and I don't know what football you've been watching for the past 4 years, because you've been part of this team for the past 4 years, Kevin Patullo. You've been here the entire time that Sirianni's been here. So I don't know what quarterback play you've been watching, but you've seen Jalen Hurts when he's at his most successful, and you know that it's the run pass option.
They were at the 20-yard line with 2 minutes to go. They had their timeouts, and they weren't able to score.
No.
You had all that time, and you were basically 4 timeouts, if you count the 2-minute warning. Plenty of time to score, and yet the last 2 plays of the game, they're running 4 verticals. Like, this isn't Madden.
Just praying for someone to be open downfield.
Praying for someone to be open, and then the last play of the season was thrown into triple coverage.
4th down, 4 verticals.
Yep, 4th down, 4 verticals. They throw it in a triple coverage, and I mean, what do you expect Dallas Goedert to leap up like Superman and then fly into the end zone?
He might get paid this offseason like he is. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I have a good feeling. I mean, I hope they do bring him back because there's a lot of free agents that they got to bring back, and his team
There's
don't.
a lot of people leaving this year.
There's a lot of people leaving, and it could mean AJ Brown. He could be gone.
We found
Just
out just yesterday
just
some
yesterday,
very unfortunate news, man.
this from Brandon Lee Gallen of Bleeding Green. I don't know if this guy's like actually true or not, but apparently Brown's been wanting out since week 3, as early as week 3.
And Bleeding Green, I do believe, is at least, if not a verified source, they are reliable with the information that they have presented, because I've heard them be used as a reference before in certain other articles, like athletic articles and, like TV shit, like radio shows and stuff like that. So I would trust the information, even if it's not completely verified and there's not one side that's confirming that, it's true. But from the way AJ acted and his little spurt he had coming off the field when he probably should have caught that ball.
Dude, AJ Brown had a terrible game. Against the 49ers. He had, you just
Horrible.
said the horrible coming off the
Dropped
field,
at least 3 passes.
having that altercation with Sirianni, dropped a 3rd and 5. I mean, wide open. He's so lucky that Dallas Goedert was able to convert on 4th down, basically saving, the season for a few more minutes.
Yeah, for the moment.
Yeah, for the moment. But Jesus. Besides that, he had his little tantrum with Sirianni. He had his little tantrum about dropping me in fantasy. Like, seriously?
Yeah.
AJ Brown's getting paid all this money. He's expected to be, a leader in this locker room. He's supposed to be like someone that younger wide receivers or even like Devontae Smith looks down and says, you need to learn from him. And then you're going to go onto a Twitch stream and you're going to publicly state that you're not getting enough targets and that you need to drop me in fantasy football. Like, seriously, that's childish behavior. And then once you started getting those targets, it made Jalen Hurts look a whole lot worse.
I mean, half of those targets, at least in that game, he ended up dropping. He ended up not catching.
Yep.
And I feel like that was a theme for him throughout the entire last 4 to 5 weeks of the season. He was dropping passes.
I mean, he should have been able to catch a couple of those passes. He had one that kind of looked like it was a pass interference, but I feel like if he should still be able to get his hands on that. Another one that was missed by just 2 or 3 feet. He lays out, he makes that catch.
I mean, there's a lot of opportunities that he left out there on the field. You know what I mean? There's a lot of plays that he probably himself would sit there and say, I should have made that catch. I should have made that play. And he just, for some reason, the past couple of weeks, he had a couple of drops in the Commanders game. He had a couple of drops in even the Buffalo Bills game. Like, he was not really hauling in all of his targets the past 3 to 4 weeks. I feel
like AJ, if this is AJ,
if you're gonna speak out like that, you gotta make your catches.
You can't complain about targets and how a Band-Aid doesn't fix everything, and then you don't even put in effort to make the catch. It's like Nick Castellano saying, oh, why do the fans treat us like crap? When he's basically a guaranteed free out at the plate every single time and swinging at everything dirt and not making the full effort to go get the damn ball in the outfield.
Well, I mean, he found out real quick because he still is here, which means that no other team wants him bad enough to trade for him. So that's pretty telling of where he's at in his career. So
AJ Brown, I know 31 other teams that would take an AJ Brown on their team.
That is 100% true. And I know a couple of teams that would greatly benefit from an A.J. Brown on their team.
Yeah, 100%. I think Howie Roseman's going to try to keep him as long as he can because of the cap hit. I think it's like a $72 million cap hit if they do end up trading Brown. And
Yeah, it's a ridiculous dead money hit.
yeah, which obviously no one wants to take unless someone takes the full contract, or Howie Roseman's going to want to look for the right price too. Like I want if I'm Howie Roseman, I'm come and front offices are calling me. I want at least two first round picks for AJ Brown. I mean, when you look at him, and he's a top five wide receiver in the sport easily. Over the only ones that are above him are Puka Nakua, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Jamar Chase, and Justin Jefferson. I really can't find any other receivers other than those five, and AJ Brown's in that category of a top five receiver. So I'm calling teams, or teams are calling me, and I'm saying I want two first, or I hang up the phone.
And not only for the reasons that you stated, but also for the reasons that you got to get a new offensive coordinator in here. And
Yeah, that's
I'm
the
pretty
first thing.
sure that if you get a new offensive coordinator that is someone that is either a big name, like a Kevin Stefanski, or any of the coaches that recently
Yeah,
got fired,
you have to get a big
you know,
name like a Mike McDaniels or something. You just you know you they fired Patullo. You can't hire someone in house again. You can't be like, oh,
no, you
Big
can't.
Dom, let's make you the new offensive coordinator. Like
No, you can't do another in-house hire. You got to go obviously outside. You
I
got to
believe
get either one of those head coaches, but the only problem with one of those head coaches is if they perform well, they're going to end up probably leaving the next year to get another
they
head coaching
they
opportunity.
interviewed with a coordinator. They've interviewed Falcons offensive coordinator Zach Robinson. That was yesterday.
And he very well could be someone that would come in here and would probably offer a little bit of stability for Jalen Hurts, someone that could probably stay here 3 to 4 years. And if they perform well all 3 to 4 years, then he would probably get a head coaching opportunity for himself.
But
So
yeah, we can't have
maybe that's the
someone
safer route, but
we can't have someone come in and then the Eagles perform exceptionally well. They leave for a head coaching job. And then it's basically just a revolving door where we're gonna have to hire some garbage Brian Johnson, Kevin Patullo type player.
I mean, that's what it's been the past 4 seasons.
Yeah.
You
And then
know,
go
you had
hire
Steichen.
a good
Steichen got
coach,
hired as head
hire
coach.
a trash coach, and then there. Yeah.
Yeah. So well, it's been this pattern, you know, it goes from Steichen to Johnson, then to Kellen Moore, and this year to Kevin Patullo. And if you notice, both of the seasons that ended in disasters, or that,
From
I
Kevin
mean,
Patullo and Brian Johnson.
we were literally the New York Football Giants and the Las Vegas Raiders away from having another complete collapse of 2023, where if you don't win those last two games right there against those two teams, if those were different teams and you ended up losing, it was basically the exact same way that you went into the playoffs in 2023,
Yep.
and you had the exact
They
same
had the
exit in the
they
first
had the
round
exact same record, the exit in the first round. No one
and the
showed.
exact same problems.
Yep.
You know, like the exact same problems, especially with the offense and the fact that it was just either one half of good offense and the other half was complete trash, or it was just constant, I felt like constant letdowns where maybe they weren't turning the ball over, but they were turning it over on downs, you know, so it's not recorded as like a turnover
It's
for,
not. It's a turnover
you
on
know,
downs, but not a
Jalen Hurts
turnover.
or right. They were just turning it over on downs. And there's a lot of similarities between how this season ended and the start of this season to the 2023 season.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of similarities. And look at this. They failed to score more than 19 points versus teams in the playoffs in the last 6 games. So the Rams, they obviously scored, I think they scored like 30 against the Rams. But the last 6 games against playoff teams, they 19 versus San Francisco, 13 versus the Bills, 19 versus the Chargers, 17 versus the Broncos, 15 versus the Bears, and only 10 versus Green Bay. Like that goes to show you that that's not a Super Bowl defending champions offense right there.
And notice how many of those games did they actually win?
They won,
Two.
yeah, they won 2 of those games. Oh no, they won, yeah, 2 of those
They
games. You're right.
won 10-9 against Green Bay.
Yep, they won against Green Bay 10-7, and then Buffalo they won because Josh Allen missed his wide open man on a 2-point conversion.
Yep. So they won 2 out of those 6 games. So they went 2-4 against playoff teams, which
A 3-4 if you count the Rams. But even
3-4, yeah, if you count the Rams. But either way, that's a losing record right there against playoff teams, and that equals an early first round exit. And now you got guys like Dallas Goedert, who's not probably going to be here this year.
Bunch of free
Nakobe
agents
Dean.
now. Nakobe Dean, Dallas Goedert,
Who
Blankenship,
knows if they're bringing Blankenship back, man?
Phillips.
Phillips probably not.
Yeah, so I have a list here of like all the notable free agents. So
Yeah.
what we just said, Goddard, Dean, Blankenship, Braden Mann, the punter.
And that's probably someone they could work a deal out with. These
Yeah.
punters,
And then
you know.
I have Jake Elliott on here, assuming that Jake Elliott gets cut.
I really hope he does.
Yeah, I have no doubt in my mind that Jake Elliott's probably done here as an Eagle, and they go find a different kicker somewhere. His
Thank you
struggles in
for
the
your
past.
time, Jake, but it's time to move on.
Yeah, it's time to move on. It's not going to be like a JT Realmuto type thing where we're just going to keep bringing him back for basically just sentiment. But
Yeah.
I see Elliott getting cut. His struggles the past 2 years aren't going to help this team move forward at all.
No.
So Howie Roseman said there are key players the Eagles want to keep, and they'll have to make sacrifices.
And Jake Elliott is going to be one of the sacrifices.
Jake Elliott is going to be one of the sacrifices. They can find another kicker in the rough. It's not that hard. All the kicker does is kick.
It's like, dude, when you can't hit a 50-yard field goal, like, what are you doing on a Super Bowl contending team?
You miss a 47-yarder and then you miss 2 50-yarders. It's time to pack your bags and head for retirement.
Yeah, or at least head elsewhere.
Head to the CFL.
Just not here.
And then here's some other free agents I have on here. Fred Johnson, Toth, Dotson. He's like, I'm grateful for my time here. I don't think Dotson's coming back. Brandon Graham, apparently he says he wants to play again. But, I highly doubt that. I don't know if he's going to go back into retirement again.
Who knows with Brandon Graham? Dude.
Yeah, who knows? Azeez Ojulari and Dory Jackson, which I don't expect them to come back either. But maybe they might bring back Toth or Fred Johnson for some offensive line depth. But
I mean, if they don't bring any of these guys back for any type of depth, then they're going to have a lot of very low, short contracts that they're going to have to hand out for free agency depth because you're not going to replace guys
they're going to have to find out, or they're going to have to draft some more players.
Yeah, like you're not going to replace a guy like BG in the draft or Dotson in the draft, most likely. Like their draft needs to be, I feel like, more primarily focused on offensive line. So maybe Fred Johnson and Toth are 2 guys who you consider. Whether
Fred
or not
Johnson and Toth, they'll probably come back on 1-year deals, but Dotson and BG, I don't see them coming back.
No, I don't see them coming back either.
Kind of like the Philly situation. Look at this. You got Dallas Goedert and Nakobe Dean and Jalen Phillips, Reed Blankenship. I mean, you say you can only bring back 2 of those free agents, and the Phillies had the same deal with Schwarber, Suarez, Harrison Bader. You can't bring back everybody. You don't have unlimited money.
Exactly. And you really don't have unlimited money in the NFL.
You don't, yeah. Thanks to the salary cap.
Yeah, and that's probably something we're going to be getting to in our next, episode.
Yeah, we'll get
But
that. We'll get to that in a couple of minutes.
but when it comes just to like the salary cap here, it's a lot more difficult for you to work your way around the salary cap because you can only go over the cap to re-sign your own players. So if
Yep.
you're already over the cap, you can't bring in free agents without essentially letting someone go and releasing them outright
Yeah, and
to
who
free up
knows
money.
who knows how much dead cap they'll be in, especially with
Yeah.
Brown.
And I do know that I think they have like something like 20 something, like 28 million, depending upon how much the cap is going to rise after, they make their estimations and all that stuff this season. Because every season the cap always rises because the NFL just makes more and more fucking money. So right now, I think they have 28 million in cap space that's projected to be open once all the contracts are, done. And that might go up to something around like 35, depending upon how much the salary increases. But if salary increases, salary cap, that means most likely players are going to be demanding and asking for more. So you're going to have a significant amount of holes to fill with players that are most likely going to be demanding significant amounts more money than they would of the previous year.
Yeah, it's going to be people are going to be wanting a lot of money. I don't know if the Eagles are going to be able to afford it. I don't know what they're going to do.
Right. Like if
If they're
Dallas
going to be,
Goddard's problem was money, he's going
yeah,
to be worth even
he's going to be wanting a lot more
whatever.
money now.
Yeah. Like however much he made his money for worth this season, plus whatever the cap goes up, probably another 10%, you're going to have to add on to that contract. Because if you don't, some other team will.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if because multiple teams are going to be involved in Dallas Goddard after the
Oh,
season he
yeah.
just had.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that's the Eagles' main priority to bring him back. If
It
not,
has to be.
I could see them.
And I feel like the
I could see them grabbing a tight end.
number two needs to be Blankenship,
You think
in
so?
my opinion. Yes.
Uh, see, I would
Because
like to
Jahad Campbell looks like he can fill in for N'Kobe Dean.
see. I
I
was
don't
going
think they have a single guy in their defensive backfield that could
I
fill in for Reed
see.
Blankenship.
I would like N'Kobe Dean, but obviously you're kind of in a bit of a dilemma. You want to give Jahad Campbell more playing time. He's the first round pick.
Right.
He was playing good in Kobe Dean's absence from injury.
And I do agree with you that N'Kobe Dean is probably the better overall player with more overall talent. I just think that Blankenship's role is going to be a lot harder for them to fill
Yeah,
than N'Kobe Dean to replace.
because you don't have a Jahad Campbell type player to replace Reed Blankenship. You
Right.
got
And the guy that you did just
Jordan
draft
Poole.
last year to complement him got hurt at the end of the year this year
Yep.
and was hurt in the preseason. He got hurt in college. So who knows? Maybe there's some type of little injury thing creeping up with him where he's just not going to be available.
So you have an injury prone guy you draft in the second round. I don't know if you go for safety in the first round or a safety in the second round, or you go for a tight end in the first round or a safety in the second.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
don't know.
sure.
And
It's
who
all going to
knows?
depend.
They could get more first round picks if they end up trading Brown.
Yeah, they could, but that's going to limit what they can do in free agency because they're going to
Exactly.
end up incurring
If they
that
end up
cap hit.
if they end up trading Brown, I don't think they're going to be able to re-sign Dallas Goddard or Phillips or Blankenship or anyone. It's going to be like, Dave Dombrowski handing out cheap 1 year Max Kepler, Jordan Romano type contracts. And then,
And you can stretch out that dead money cap hit, I think, over like 4 or 5 years. I heard someone say. But either way, even if you stretch out that $72 million cap hit over the next 2 to 3 seasons, that's still going to be what, 30 million you're not able to use this year, 28 million you're not able
yeah,
to use.
that's a ton of money being wasted.
That's a lot of money that you're
Yep.
wasting right there. and it's to let a good player go. It's not like you're letting go some guy that is like some scrub or some guy that wasn't. I understand maybe he wasn't pulling his weight to his expectations or his standards, but he's not a slouch. He can play, and he's a very, very good wide receiver in this league. As you said, probably a top five, at least a top 10 if you don't have him in your top five. And you don't want to let that guy walk and be on the hook for 28 million when he does.
Yep. Oh, it's gonna be one of Howie Roseman's more challenging off seasons. A lot of
Yeah,
free
he's going to have
agents.
to hit in the draft.
He's gonna
He's
have to hit in
going
the
to have to
draft.
hit
He's
in the
gonna have
draft
to
this year.
hit with his coaches. He's gonna have to solve this AJ Brown dilemma.
Yeah, it's going to be a
So
very drama-filled offseason,
here we
probably.
go. Here's a tweet from Jeremy Fowler before I wrap this up. The Eagles just interviewed Mike Kafka for the offensive coordinator position.
The guy that was the interim head coach for the Giants.
Yep.
I don't know how I feel about that, but
I don't know how I
okay.
feel about that either, but okay.
I mean, it's not like the New York Giants offense was horrible last year with Jackson Dart, who's got a similar type of skill set than Jalen Hurts. So
Yeah, I don't know. I guess they'll probably weigh down their options and see what's best for them, especially since they're getting Harbaugh.
I still would rather like something that's more along like a Kevin Stefanski
Yeah, I could
type.
see him getting a head coaching job.
Probably because
So,
he's the best guy I think that's out there for this Eagles offense would be Stefanski.
yeah,
But
I agree. All right, then I guess I'm gonna call it here. So, challenging offseason ahead for the Eagles. Hopefully there's no more drama that stirs with all the BS that goes on. And yeah, it'll be we'll be getting to talk about them again come March and April. So the shitty
yeah.
Eagle season comes to an end. So we'll see you guys next week.